Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and when it comes to kids and money, I've read a few books on kids and investing and how to set them up for the future. And the overall idea that I have is basically you don't want to hand kids money because that's never a good idea. It'll probably be spent on the wrong things, but you want to set them up so when they actually are old enough, they can get an education, you can teach them to invest themselves, and you can also help them, give them a little boost so they can actually have a big head start in life. Now, this plan I'm going to give you in this video sets them up to have about $70,000 to $100K by the time they turn 18, and only with about like 10 to 15 years worth of investing. So it's not like they have to be zero right now so you can actually invest for 18 years to them. No, you can invest by the time they turn 5 years old or 10 years old and they will be fine. And that to me is awesome because it means that if you're a parent with a 10-year-old, you still have time to actually make this whole plan work. And by the way, when it comes to my strategy to raising successful kids, I always think about Warren Buffett. And he says, you want to have and leave your kids enough money so you can do anything, but not do nothing. So you don't give them enough so they don't have to do anything. You give them just enough so they can do anything, but they have to do something. And with this plan, you'll help them out with education, help them out invest for themselves and get a job, and also help them out with you matching the money they invest so they actually have even more money. And again, $100,000 by the time you turn 18 is a massive head start, but this way, they know what to do with the money, and it's not just, hey, here's some money, and hopefully you don't spend it all on dumb stuff, okay? I would have done that if I got the money without the knowledge when I was 18 years old, by the way, and that's why I tell it to you this way. Now, as always, guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel because I also have other videos on investing into real estate and building passive income and all of those other things. And if you're a parent watching this video, the idea is, yes, investing for your kids is important, but also setting yourself up for retirement is also important. And I have videos on that also on this channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, the very first thing is, guys, when it comes to investing for your kids, the biggest return on investment is going to come from education. Because when a kid goes from having no skills to having a good, proper skill that can earn them $40,000 or $50,000 or $60K a year, that makes a big difference. So any money invested into education is going to have a huge return on investment. So the best way to invest money today so the have for education tomorrow is going to be a 529 account. And this right here is a tax account for education. So the money you invest in here is going to be tax-free as long as it's used for educational purposes, which is actually pretty awesome. Now, there is a book I want you to read if you are a parent or even if you're a kid watching this video and want to learn how to set yourself up for the future. And it's this one right here. It's called Debt-Free Degree by Anthony O'Neill. And this book, guys, teaches you how to go to school and not spend any money on basically going into debt. This way you can actually get a debt-free degree, and it is awesome. It's a great read. And the basic idea is you apply for a lot of scholarships, you work, you go to community college first, and this way you can save a lot of money when it comes to college and graduate 100% debt-free, and that should be the overall goal. Now, how do you put this plan into action? Because a lot of people, when it comes to saving up for their college funds and all that stuff, they do it the wrong way. And here's why. People say, well, I can have my kid go to college for like around 20K a year. I mean, 20K total for 4 years. And they think like that, but then they forget about inflation and the cost of college going up as the years come by. And when that time comes, like 10, 15 years into the future, well, that 20K perspective turned into like 30 or 40K. So how do you make a good goal that's adjusted for the price of college and inflation and everything else? The answer is very simple. Now, let's assume right now that your kid is about 5 years old. What exactly do you do? So how do you adjust for inflation with the amount of money you'll need for college? Simple. So you want to go to Google and type in inflation calculator and click on the link that says smart assets, and then you want to put in the amount, right? The amount is going to be around $20,000. And let's say, for example, right now we are in the year 2022 or the year you're watching this video. So if your kid is 5 years old, when they turn 18, that's about apparently like around like almost 13 years, right? So then you have, for example, by 2035, how much money will that actually be? Well, that'll be around $27,570. Now, how much do you need to invest every single month at an 11% return into, for example, the S&P 500 to have this much money? The answer is you want to go to Savings Goal Calculator. This is a website by the government, okay? Savings Goal Calculator, investor.gov. And when you go here, the answer is very simple. You type in the amount here. So you grab this number, which is $27,570. You bring it over here, you put it here, and let's say you start the account with $50 today. You have 13 years to actually grow it, right? Because they're like 5 years old. And then on top of that, you're gonna grow it at 11%. The answer is click calculator, and boom. The amount is going to be, you need to invest around $87 every month over 13 years to have, for example, $27,570. Now, if you're conservative like I am, you're probably thinking, Tommy, what if the market is down during that time? I agree. So I would always want to have, for example, at least 50% more money just to adjust for if the market is down. So 50% extra of $27,000 is going to be around $41,000. So let me just pull up the calculator so you know how to do the math here. So if the amount we're saying is right here, okay, 27,570, well, 27,570 multiplied by 1.5 or 50% extra, that's going to give you 41,355. So in order for me to actually get that amount of money in that account, which is 41,355, $50 you start with, 13 years, 11%, and you click calculate, boom, you're going to need to invest around $130.86 per month. But if you're the average person, you said, well, my kid only needs $20,000 and you only need that. Well, when they turn 18, it's more like they needed $41,000. Or for example, like $27,000 to adjust for inflation, you see? So this way, you have extra money in there just in case you have a market drop or whatever. And yes, you can take the money out. There's a small penalty on the capital, but in reality, you still get to have a bunch of money in case you don't have other kids to send to college. So it's actually not that bad. Now, that's one way. So far, 15 years, you have $41,000, and that's just to start. Because number two here is going to be opening up a custodial IRA. Tommy, isn't an IRA an individual retirement account? The answer is yes. And we actually want to open up a custodial Roth IRA for your kid. But doesn't that mean they have to be over 18? The answer is no. There is no age limit in a sense. You just have to have, for example, a job. And a lot of rich people, they put kids on their books and pay them below $12,000, which is basically standard deduction. That way they don't pay taxes. And that way they can just invest that money into their Roth IRA and into a brokerage account and have that money grow basically tax-free with no issues, okay? Which is pretty cool. But for this video, which to make it very simple is, let's say your kid is about, for example, 13 years old, they're a teenager, and now they can finally start working. Well, according to BLS, the average teenager makes around $500 per week, okay? That's around $2,000 per month, which by the way, is a lot of money. It's a good amount of money. So if my parents would have taught me early on to basically work, which I worked, but to taught me to actually work and then invest a portion of my money, that would have made a big difference, especially if it was, for example, in a Roth IRA. So let's say your kid makes around $2,000 a month and it takes 70% for expenses, 20% for investments, and then 10% just for normal regular savings. The idea is if they invest 20% of about $2,000, that's going to be somewhere around like $400 in investments every single month. Now, do you know how much money that is in 5 years at an 11% return? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Let me, again, pull up my calculator here, okay? So if they're going to be investing $400, just 20% of what they make, okay? So again, $2,000. Multiply by 20%, that's around $400. And let me bring you guys over here to my calculator because everything is with a compound interest calculator. So if they're investing $400 per month, multiply by 12, that's going to be around $4,800 a year, okay? Which is, by the way, a good amount of money. Now, for 5 years, so they're 13, by the time they turn 18, it's just 5 years later, at an 11% return into the S&P 500, the answer is you're looking to have around $33,000. So that's just them. Just by investing that 20% for 5 years, they're gonna have around $33,000, okay? So far, we have 40K for education, 30K from their actual work, and they actually invest in their own money. So what's the next branch of investment here to fully set them up? The answer is you do an investment match. So what does this mean? It means you open up a custodial brokerage account. And again, it's basically a non-tax advantage account for your kids. So if you do, for example, the 529 account, and they're also doing, for example, the Roth custodial accounts, and then you have, for example, the match process, it basically means, well, if my kid is willing to invest 20% of their money, I'm going to invest 50% of every dollar they invest. So if they invest 400, I'll invest 200. If they invest 400, I could basically do 25 cents also, and that would be like around $100, okay? So it all depends. You can do 50 cents or 25 cents, and it's still gonna be a good amount of money. Now, translation in math. If your kid invests $400 and you invest 50 cents, which is half, $200 per month, in 5 years, you'll give them $15,000 additional. If you just invest for every dollar they invest, 25 cents, the answer is going to be you'll have around $8,295 to actually give them. So overall, with this plan between educational, retirement, and also normal brokerage accounts, you're looking to give your kids between like almost $100,000, and that makes a big difference. And the cool part about this plan is that basically they have money for educational, but they also made the bulk of their money from their own funds by teaching them to work and to budget. Hey, a part of it is just for your expenses, a part of it is for investing, a part of it is basically just for savings. That teaches them a lot. And then you have, for example, the other part of like, hey, every time you invest, I'm going to match it. I'm going to match it. And that's also another incentive. So this teaches them a lot of stuff, responsibility especially, okay? But by the time they go ahead and turn 18, they're basically set up in a way that me and you probably were never set up, okay? I don't know if I said this already, okay? But another book I recommend when it comes to money and kids is this one right here by Dave Ramsey also. And it's basically Dave Ramsey and Rachel Cruz, Smart Money, Smart Kids. This is also a great book when it comes to raising kids and teaching them about money. It's actually pretty good stuff, okay, guys? But overall, if you do it this way, it's a lot better than just handing your kids money. And if you read these books, you learn about, for example, why you shouldn't send them to an expensive private school and get them into student loan debt. It can be set up in a way where by the time they graduate, they're fully debt-free, they have a bunch of money. With that money, they can basically get a down payment on a home and actually buy a home the right way. They can buy a car that they want. It's like, it's a whole different lifestyle. If I had this, my life would have been much more different. But I'll probably have this for my kids, and that's the important part. And now you have it for your kids. As always, guys, just to resume here, comment down below if you made it all the way to the end of the video by comment down below KID, so K-I-D. But overall, it's a 529 account for your kids' education, a custodial Roth IRA account. You get that once they can actually work and have income. Okay, so it can, if your kid is 0, when they turn 13, you already have, for example, investments in the 529 account. You can just start that today. But as far as the custodial account for Roth, that's basically when they're actually able to work and have earned income. As far as the normal custodial account, you can start that today if you want to also. But it works best, in my opinion, as a match account for the money they invest, okay? That's my idea. And my favorite investment for kids or for adults overall is going to be investing money into the S&P 500. And having, for example, also extra money, at least 50% more in your calculations. So this way, if you do have a market drop, you accommodate for it and you don't have to worry. And it's not like when they turn 18 and they go to college and you take all the money out. No, you take it out as they go to college, and that's like 4 extra years in addition of that money also compounding, okay? Again, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. I have more videos coming out on investing. Up here is another video. Over here is my faithful subscribe. And as always, long-term team officially out.